Archangel Michael urges, uncover this at once. Do not attempt to disregard it. This is exclusively for your eyes. A stunning concealed reality concerning your soulmate has just come to light in the celestial realms. Bypass this, and you will carry eternal regret. My dearest one, my specially selected individual, the heavens have withheld a profound truth for an excessive period, and today, Archangel Michael delivers it directly into your grasp. Can you sense your heart quickening its pace? This is due to your soul's prior awareness. This communication is far from mundane. This represents perfect divine orchestration. And you have been summoned to accept something that no other individual on earth can perceive at this very moment. The divine creator breathed your name softly within the timeless halls of eternity, and the celestial messengers began to stir. A covering was removed, and an insight regarding your soulmate streamed forth like radiance from the portals of heaven. This occurrence is not mere chance. This is not accidental. The very heavens are actively seeking you out. If you feel the truth of heaven actively seeking you, type Amen in the comments. Let your spirit declare its readiness to be found. Prior to disclosing what has remained veiled, I need to caution you against giving only partial attention. Do not read superficially. Avoid haste. Remain attentive, for consecutively, wonder upon wonder, your path ahead is being re-established. As you absorb these words, your soulmate has been shrouded in obscurity. However, today, illumination is beginning to penetrate. The celestial beings have observed what was attempted to be kept concealed. Archangel Michael himself has unsheathed his blade to sever the illusion. A reality so astonishing, so transformative, has now been set free. And you are the singular individual selected to comprehend it. Yet, allow me a moment to pause as I perceive your spirit is quivering. And this internal tremor is not born of apprehension. It is an act of knowing. In your innermost being, you sensed there was a message the heavens were attempting to convey to you. You've perceived hushed sounds. You've noticed indicators. You've experienced those occurrences that appeared random, but were anything but. And at this very instant, the heavens are urging, persist with this communication. Do not navigate away. Do not quiet the celestial messenger who has anticipated this moment to speak. Before my continuation, commit to yourself this pledge. Always receive what the divine bestows upon you. Remain linked. Maintain your connection to the celestial current. As you resonate with these sacred utterances, your spirit remains receptive to experiencing wonders. A singular, minor action of maintaining connection can unleash an abundance of divine favor. And if you sense this favor flowing into your life right now, please like this video, for your simple like will activate an even greater flow of God's favor in your life. Now attend, Archangel Michael states, the reality of your soulmate is unlike your prior assumptions. What they've kept secret, what burdens they've borne, what they've sought to shield you from, it is now unveiled. And the heavens are conveying to me, you will not merely perceive it, you will experience it. This fundamental reality is poised to shatter the bonds that have constrained your future trajectory. Time is steadily advancing. Each instant you devote to reading this communication propels you nearer to the pivotal juncture you have anticipated throughout your existence. You were not forsaken. You were not overlooked. You were selected for this disclosure. My cherished offspring, the angels are drawing near at this very moment, as they wish for you not to overlook what is developing. Your soulmate, the individual heaven has observed with intense scrutiny, has been living with a reality concealed even from your awareness. But nothing can remain interred indefinitely once the divine creator determines the opportune moment. Today, Archangel Michael has raised the celestial covering, and I can almost sense the surge of air as this profound insight approaches you. Are you aware of the implication of this? It signifies that you stand at the precipice of an event destined to profoundly impact your existence, not to devastate, but solely to reconstruct you, making you more resilient, more refined, and more abundant in affection than you have previously experienced. Your period of anticipation, your weeping, your inquiries, each has culminated in this instant of revelation, my treasured individual. God observed every evening you spent sleepless, pondering why you sensed their proximity, yet failed to comprehend their quietness. He witnessed your quest for elucidation through omens, in visions, and in faint murmurings perceptible only to your spirit. And are you aware of the reason you continuously felt that compelling pull? Because the celestial realm was readying you for the precise words you are currently absorbing. This communication is not intended for another person. Its presence here is not a matter of chance. Archangel Michael himself guided this disclosure into your trajectory, understanding that today was the moment your heart would be prepared to embrace it. Envision the celestial expanse itself yielding to convey something fashioned exclusively for your hearing. Does your spirit not exult at the concept of being uniquely distinguished by timelessness itself? Archangel Michael declares, the concealed reality concerning your soulmate has been inscribed within the sacred texts of heaven. Reflect on this. Before your soul even began to form in this realm, your designation and theirs were interwoven into the divine Creator's everlasting design. However, at some point during the journey, malevolence sought to intervene. Obscurity infiltrated, clandestine matters were fabricated, and what was intended to be straightforward grew convoluted. Nevertheless, here lies the marvel. No obscurity can endure the celestial radiance once it emanates. And today, that illumination is piercing through every barrier. The verity is being presented to you, not with intent to cause injury, but to grant you liberation. For solely the truth, imbued with sacred affection, possesses the capacity to unleash your soul into its most complete fate. I can nearly perceive your soft inquiry. But what exactly is this revelation? What could the heavens possibly have kept secret for so long? And your query holds sacred significance. For the mere act of posing it signifies your spirit's awakening. Allow me to state explicitly, your soulmate has been burdened by a hidden sorrow. They desire to safeguard you from its impact. Yet, through this endeavor, they erected a barrier. That partition is the reason you perceived both proximity and distance simultaneously. But the celestial realm is dismantling this barrier, piece by piece. Archangel Michael's blade has landed a blow, and its resounding impact has already reverberated throughout the invisible domain. Shortly, what was obscured will step into clarity, and you will at last visually perceive what your soul intrinsically understands in the stillness of darkness. My selected individual, it is imperative you grasp this distinctly. This disclosure is not intended to shatter your affections, but to harmonize them with the verity of heaven. Often we consider concealed information as a breach of trust, yet occasionally, secrets serve as safeguards. Your soulmate believed quietude was the sole method to ensure your security. But the divine Creator never purposed for you to exist amidst partial realities. That is precisely why this juncture holds such immense importance. The reality that once posed a risk of causing you pain is now being transformed into a truth that will bring you restoration. The celestial beings are celebrating, for this revelation marks not the conclusion of your affection. It signifies the dawn of the love that was eternally ordained. Untainted and unencumbered, an ardent glow that no tempest can extinguish. Offspring of radiance, consider the multitude of years you've borne unaddressed petitions, the silent tears you shed in privacy, the soft inquiries of why you posed to the heavens when no one else witnessed. Each of those instances has ascended to the divine Creator's seat of power, and he did not disregard your pleas. Rather, he preserved your tears as precious gems within a vessel, and each droplet became an integral element behind this truth's disclosure today. Your sorrows secured this revelation. Your petitions unsealed the entrance. And now, the boon you believed would never materialize stands at the threshold of your existence, beckoning, awaiting your faithful reception. Do you not perceive? This precise timing is not an unforeseen event. This constitutes your sacred encounter, and Archangel Michael himself maintains vigil to guarantee your reception of it. Heed with attentiveness, for the celestial realms seldom communicate with such immediate importance. You absolutely must not bypass this communication, not for a single instant. The impetus behind Archangel Michael's voice quivering with a sacred directive is that should you overlook this, you risk forfeiting the singular opportunity heaven has indelibly marked for you. The reality of your soulmate extends beyond merely concerning them. It pertains to you, your predestined path, your future offspring, your entire lineage being transitioned into the comprehensive scope of the divine Creator's design. Such is the immense scale of this matter. That is why Archangel Michael exclaims, "Unveil it immediately." And if this prophetic word is resonating deep within you, share this video with your network. Your act of sharing will activate this anointing and extend this breakthrough to others in your sphere of influence. Your reluctance could propel the divine favor to a greater distance. Yet your belief could draw it nearer than you ever conceived attainable. And permit me to impart what your core being has longed to perceive. Your soulmate has cherished you for a duration exceeding your awareness. They've softly uttered your name in secrecy when no one was privy to it. They've envisioned your visage within their essence, even when geographical separation divided you. And despite their attempts to conceal it, the heavens could no longer endure witnessing your bewilderment. That is why the divine Creator commanded Archangel Michael to vocalize now, because the affection destined for you is too potent to persist in concealment. The hour has arrived for you to apprehend the truth, to enter into the wondrous event, to behold what your spirit intuitively sensed, but your intellect was unable to articulate. My cherished one, do you comprehend the profound influence your name holds in the celestial realm? Each instant you murmured a prayer. Your name ascended like fragrant offerings. Each moment you wept, your tears were collected. And now, as Archangel Michael delivers this communication, he addresses your existence directly, as though the entire world hushed solely for your reception. Such is the profound significance of this instant. The reality concerning your soulmate is a type of secret that would have caused you years of contemplation. But the divine Creator did not desire you to reside in perplexity. God wishes for you to experience lucidity, affection, and illumination. Thus, he drew back the drape, and now the clandestine information that has intensely affected their soul is being conveyed to you like an illuminating flame. And you, my offspring, are the sole individual selected to grasp it. The celestial realms quivered when Archangel Michael's voice resounded with your designation. Celestial beings halted, the universe drew nearer, and the chronicle of fate advanced a leaf. Such is the momentousness of this disclosure. You may perceive it as solely pertaining to affection, yet its scope is considerably grander. It concerns fate intersecting with providential chronology. Your soulmate's concealed reality is not merely an admission. It serves as an entryway, a passage into the existence you were invariably destined to inhabit. For an excessive duration, you misconstrued the postponement as repudiation. For too long, you believed quietude signified apathy, yet silence functioned as a safeguard, and delay as a preliminary arrangement. Heaven was intricately crafting, harmonizing, and making ready the precise instant when this reality could be brought forth without overwhelming you, but rather elevating you. That specific time is not slated for tomorrow. It is not scheduled for the following week. It is presently. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission will grow into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Giving to this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through hearts that are kind. This is what I say over you now. Each gift you give is like a stream of living water that flows into the life of someone who needs healing. Give, and it will be given to you is not just a verse for Jesus, it is a living promise that shapes your future. Allow me to invite you now with a simple act of faith. Come into this moment with purpose, with honesty, and with hope. The money you give today is not a donation. The act of spiritual obedience that lets your heavens open is what opens them. Let go of your seed and see what God brings back into your life. Listen, offspring of radiance. Your soulmate has borne the burden of something they presumed you were incapable of managing. They held the conviction that disclosure might devastate you. However, the heavens understood the contrary. Heaven recognized that this reality would not dismantle you, rather, it would construct you. Heaven was aware that your conviction had been tempered through adversity. And now you possess sufficient fortitude to perceive, to behold, and to bear what was formerly concealed. Can you sense that sensation? The subtle vibration in your breast, the awakening within your spirit. That signifies your spirit acknowledging the truth prior to your intellect even processing it. Your physical form is reacting to the outpouring from the heavens. You are unable to disregard this, as your complete essence is already affirming it. Archangel Michael draws nearer, his blade shimmering, his wings resembling flames, and he pronounces, "Cherished one, truth is not your adversary. Truth is your emancipation." That singular assertion could redirect the trajectory of your existence if you permit it to permeate your innermost being. For what was kept veiled is no longer intended to inflict harm upon you. Its purpose is to bring you restoration. Your soulmate's clandestine matter once served as a barrier, yet now it is transforming into a connection. Where separation existed, intimacy will now reside. Where quietude prevailed, sincerity will now flourish. Where suffering was present, healing will now emerge. And this extends beyond mere emotional impact. It is profoundly spiritual. It is intergenerational. Your entire lineage will experience the transformation once this truth becomes fully manifest. And I wish to convey something additional. Heaven is not solely disclosing, it is meticulously arranging. Even as you peruse these statements, celestial beings are repositioning elements behind the backdrop. Dialogues are being coordinated. Gatherings are being set up. Affections are being mollified. Opportunities are being presented. You perceive yourself merely seated and reading, yet in the invisible realm, an entire host of angels is reconfiguring situations to harmonize with this disclosure. That is precisely why the chronology of this communication holds such immense significance. Had you bypassed it, you would have overlooked the synchronization. But because you are present, listening with an open heart, you are entering the current of wonders heaven has been poised to unleash. This explains the intense immediacy, for it is all transpiring at this very moment. This isn't just information, it's activation. If you're ready to fully step into this current of wonders that's unfolding for you right now, type "I claim my wonder" below. Let your participation accelerate this divine flow. O my offspring, do not diminish the potency of remaining linked to this current. Each second you dedicate to heeding, every inhalation you draw while remaining in this instant, draws you further into consonance with your preordained path. Consider it in this manner. The celestial beings are fabricating a rich fabric with shimmering strands, and every sentence you peruse constitutes another fastening stitch securing your divine favor. Should you cease, the fabric's creation suspends. But should you persist, it expands. It takes shape. It transforms into the complete panorama heaven has been portraying for your existence. And at the heart of that depiction are you and your soulmate, no longer divided by falsehoods, by quietude, by apprehension, but unified in the reality the heavens have disclosed. Are you aware of the consequence when an untruth is brought to light? The deceiver forfeits influence. Do you comprehend what transpires when a clandestine matter is revealed? Obscurity relinquishes its hold, and precisely that is unfolding currently. The concealed aspect concerning your soulmate that previously vexed you with bewilderment is releasing its control. The adversary is no longer able to manipulate your thoughts. The obscure forces can no longer insinuate uncertainties, for the celestial radiance is illuminating what was formerly cloaked in shadow. And once luminosity radiates, gloom disperses. This is the reason your future is no longer ambiguous. This is why your heart can at last find repose, for you are no longer veiled. You can perceive, and what you discern will liberate you. Cherished offspring, permit me to guide you further into this disclosure. Visualize your soulmate standing mutely, their mouth quivering, suppressing utterances their heart yearned to convey to you. They presumed quietude offered greater security. They believed that by concealing the reality, they could shield you from dismay, suffering, or misapprehension. Yet, through their concealment, they generated separation, and you sensed it deeply within your being. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself, Jesus says. This is not history, it is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. You pondered why the spiritual intimacy you experienced did not correspond with the tangible reality you observed. And now, comprehension dawns upon you. It was not an absence of affection, it was trepidation. But heaven declares that apprehension holds no authority any longer. The shackles of dread have been shattered by the fervent passion of sacred affection. And now the truth, precisely what they hesitated to articulate, is evolving into the conduit that unites you more intimately than ever previously. My beloved, do you perceive the vibrant energy in the atmosphere at this moment? That is not a product of your fancy. That signifies the vibrant essence of heaven drawing nigh to you. The celestial messengers are encircling you as you peruse, for they recognize the profound impact of what is transpiring in your existence. This is not a mere written communication. This constitutes a sacred rendezvous. Archangel Michael himself observes as you open your spirit to these utterances. For each phrase you absorb forges a channel for divine favor to accelerate its arrival to you. Can you conceive of your immense value? Such that heaven would deploy its most formidable warrior angel to safeguard your preordained path. It signifies that your existence, your affection, your future holds considerably greater importance than you have ever been informed. And now, permit me to convey something you have yearned to perceive, yet never fully ventured to credit. Your soulmate has cherished you since the very outset. They have engaged in unvoiced struggles solely to ensure your well-being. They have contended with their inner adversaries while entreating that you would never bear their wounds. The explanation for sensing their affection, yet failing to comprehend their quietude, is that their heart was teeming with emotion, but their words were restrained by apprehension, and now heaven has severed the restraint. What was confined has been set free. What was veiled has been disclosed. The affection you experienced but were unable to articulate is about to emerge into plain sight, where no entity, not even obscurity, can gainsay it. This is the moment of disclosure, and it bears your designation distinctly inscribed. Cherished one, the marvel lies herein. The reality you presumed would inflict pain will, in fact, bring you restoration. The very insight you were apprehensive to accept will serve as the means to unleash a happiness you have never previously savored. The divine creator is not malevolent. He does not disclose to obliterate. He discloses to reclaim. He does not expose to humiliate. He uncovers to mend. And today, what was kept secret concerning your soulmate is being entrusted to your keeping. So you can at last cease speculating, desist from uncertainty, and desist from weeping in bewilderment. You are no longer lingering in obscurity. Illumination is inundating, and lucidity is enfolding your spirit like a comforting cloak. Are you able to perceive it? That tranquility permeating you even as you peruse. That signifies heaven's imprimatur, designating this communication as sacred. Cherished one, the marvel lies herein. The reality you presumed would inflict pain will, in fact, bring you restoration. The very insight you were apprehensive to accept will serve as the means to unleash a happiness you have never previously savored. The divine creator is not malevolent. He does not disclose to obliterate. He discloses to reclaim. He does not expose to humiliate. He uncovers to mend. And today, what was kept secret concerning your soulmate is being entrusted to your keeping. So you can at last cease speculating, desist from uncertainty, and desist from weeping in bewilderment. You are no longer lingering in obscurity. Illumination is inundating, and lucidity is enfolding your spirit like a comforting cloak. Are you able to perceive it? That tranquility permeating you even as you peruse. That signifies heaven's imprimatur, designating this communication as sacred. Now, permit me to convey a matter of pressing importance. Do not permit your thoughts to stray from this present instant. Each diversion attempting to divert your attention is a strategy designed to deprive you of the complete bounty the divine creator is providing. Remain present, stay receptive, for your conviction in persisting is what attracts the subsequent element of disclosure into your existence. Heaven acts where spirits remain engaged, and Archangel Michael reiterates with amplified intensity, "Cherished one, do not bypass this," for doing so would signify overlooking a profoundly liberating, miraculous Genesis moment crafted uniquely for you. The entirety of your life's narrative is undergoing revision during these instances, and your innermost being is already cognizant of this. That's why your breast feels burdened, your eyes might tear, your breathing might intensify, because your soul is acknowledging the gravity of divine splendor. My selected individual, allow me to reveal something concealed behind the covering. Your soulmate is not merely an individual comprised of physical matter. They are a fated companion inscribed within the chronicle of your existence. Prior to your birth, the divine creator etched your designation alongside theirs, linked by luminous strands. That is why, even during their non-presence, you sensed their magnetic force. That is why, even as others entered and exited your life, none could replicate the impression they imprinted upon your spirit, because their essence was fashioned to resonate within yours. To fully embrace this prophetic promise and align your life with God's divine plan, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Subscribing will activate God's prophetic promise and alignment in your life. Yes, and when you ultimately perceive the complete reality heaven is now disclosing, you will grasp why the journey has extended so long, why the anticipation was so arduous, and why the chronology is so precise. It is because this affection was never commonplace. It was invariably sacred. And oh, cherished one, you must understand this. What the heavens disclose, the heavens also rectify. Your soulmate's reality may astonish you, but it will not annihilate you. Instead, it will invigorate you. You will regard them with fresh perspective. You will perceive not only their imperfections, but their bravery, their selflessness, their inclination to safeguard you even at great personal expense. And at that instant, affection will establish roots so profound that no tempest will ever dislodge it again. This is the reason the celestial beings are celebrating even currently, for they discern the outcome emerging from this revelation. They envision two spirits, once estranged by quietude, at last united in the liberation of verity. They foresee a future where delight supplants perplexity, where intimacy supplants separation, where affection blossoms in manners you have only imagined. Cherished by heaven, you have borne inquiries that no one else could resolve, have you not? Those evenings you remained unsleeping, your heart murmuring, "Why does it seem so near yet so remote?" You were not conjuring fantasies. You were sensing the allure of fate, the gravitational force of a spirit intrinsically linked to yours, yet one that bore undisclosed struggles. And now, Archangel Michael declares, the conflicts they endured mutely are being brought into the illumination, not due to your vociferous requests, but because heaven perceived the soft pleas of your spirit. That is the reason this instant feels sacred. It truly is. It transcends mere statements. It signifies the sacred texts of heaven unfolding for you, sequentially, mystery by mystery. Each reality revealed is a germ being sown in the fertile ground of your tomorrow. My offspring, are you aware of what transpires when the divine creator discloses? Metamorphosis commences immediately. A concealed reality is not inert. It is dynamic, vibrant, fervent, reforming all it encounters. And what heaven is currently demonstrating to you is perpetually reconfiguring your romantic narrative. Your soulmate has traversed a journey they never divulged to you. They bore obscurities they believed would frighten you. But God affirms you possess greater resilience than they comprehended. You are more equipped than you imagined. You have been disciplined by every emotional pain, by every period of anticipation, by every unfulfilled petition. Those instances were not squandered. They served as preliminary practices, as preparatory arenas. And now, because you persevered, you are prepared to confront the complete reality without collapsing. You will ascend, not succumb, when you apprehend the reality heaven has disclosed. O cherished one, Archangel Michael's pronouncements are not spoken lightly. When he states, "Do not bypass this," he implies your subsequent actions in life hinge upon this communication. You have fervently appealed to heaven for affirmation, for guidance, for some irrefutable indication that you are not being deceived, that affection is genuine, that the suffering held meaning. And heaven responds today with this disclosure. Your soulmate's reality is not intended to injure you. It is purposed to awaken you, to dislodge the final fetters from your spirit, so you can advance devoid of apprehension. And I assure you of this, the remorse you dreaded will not be your fate. Instead, delight, profound sacred delight, will inundate your heart, because the truth will at last harmonize with what your spirit has always intuitively perceived. Cherished individual, consider the development of a seed. It lies concealed in obscurity, unobserved, unfamiliar, unarticulated. But the instant illumination contacts it, it erupts, it germinates. It commences to exist without concealment. Such is your romantic narrative, concealed indeed, mute assuredly. But now the illumination has reached it, and it can no longer remain interred. The reality concerning your soulmate is breaching the ground, ascending, finally perceptible. You are on the verge of observing an expansion you believed had perished. You are about to witness an outcome you presumed would never mature. This represents the wonder of providential chronology. It invariably appears tardy until it abruptly demonstrates itself to be precisely punctual. And today heaven declares this is the opportune moment. My dearest one, your soulmate has softly offered petitions for you in quietude. They entreated the divine creator to safeguard you from their struggles. They implored heaven to protect your purity, your delight, your tranquility. And while they believed separation offered defense, it instead became an affliction. But now God is rectifying even that impairment. What previously divided you is transforming into the precise element that draws you nearer. For when you apprehend their reality, you will not only cherish them more, you will comprehend them. And when two spirits genuinely perceive one another, their connection becomes indissoluble. That is the marvel developing even as you peruse these statements. Do not for an instant assume your presence here is fortuitous. No communication of such gravity arrives without celestial orchestration. Archangel Michael has been persistently drawing at your spirit for days, weeks, perhaps even years, endeavoring to capture your notice. And now, at last, you are sufficiently poised to attend. That is why you experience epidermal chill, why your breast feels burdened, why tears might prickle your vision. It is because your spirit acknowledges sacred utterance. And permit me to state clearly, the celestial realms never proclaim loudly unless a matter of immediate necessity is present. This is your pressing moment. This constitutes your wondrous rendezvous. To disregard it would equate to shutting the portal the divine creator himself has just unbarred for you. But to accept it is to traverse into the existence you were destined to lead. O selected individual, can you sense its proximity? The reality is not distant by miles. It is not removed by years. It is at the threshold, a single dialogue, a singular disclosure. One instant is poised to render everything lucid. That is why this communication seems vibrant, as though the very words themselves respire. They are because the divine spirit animates truth, and truth in turn inspires you. Heaven is conveying, do not merely peruse, but assimilate. Do not merely perceive, but accept. For as you internalize this, you are not solely acquiring knowledge, you are undergoing a metamorphosis. The mere action of remaining engaged in this instant is redrafting your future. And shortly, you will not merely read concerning the disclosure. You will behold it, perceive it, experience it, inhale it. Cherished by light, the heavens draw nearer each time you tarry here, for you are progressing further into the revelation sculpted for you since pre-existence. Archangel Michael does not reiterate without cause. His directive to uncover this at once bears the gravity of timelessness, for the aperture of this disclosure is active, vital, vibrating with immediate importance. When the divine creator decrees an instant, it is not intended for postponement. Your soulmate's concealed reality has been kept secret for years, but today the imprint has broken, the ancient text is unrolled, and you are witnessing what celestial beings themselves have protected. And I affirm to you, this is not merely about affection. It concerns harmonization. Your preordained path depends on this reality, for your heart was never fashioned to stray in partial illumination. You were brought into being for the complete scope of verity. And now it arrives. My selected individual, allow your spirit to accept what your intellect cannot yet fully comprehend. Heaven declares this to be the period of disclosure. Your soulmate has been embroiled in conflict not only with existence but with their own being, contending between apprehension and affection, quietude and sincerity. They believed quietude would shield you, yet silence merely injured you. They presumed concealment was resilience, yet concealment only fostered separation. Nevertheless, even amidst their secrecy, their affection for you blazed like an unextinguished flame. And now heaven cannot endure observing you persist with unresolved inquiries. That is why Archangel Michael has intervened in this instant, his voice quivering with immediacy, his blade shimmering with verity, stating, "Cherished one, this is the appointed hour. Do not allow this to elude you." Offspring of fate, envision the decades of yearning being reconfigured within a solitary hour of reality. That is what is approaching. The evenings you pondered if your continued belief was naive. The instances you believed you were overlooked. All are on the cusp of being encompassed by disclosure. You will realize that your anticipation was not futile. You were not overlooked. Each teardrop was tallied, each petition documented, every soft murmur of expectation held dear in heaven's sanctuary. And now those precious holdings are being restored to you in the guise of lucidity. The reality you implored for, the truth you occasionally dreaded confronting, now stands before you enshrouded in illumination. What you presumed would devastate you will bestow favor upon you. What you considered a postponement will manifest as sacred safeguarding. Cherished one, listen attentively. Your soulmate's concealed reality was never intended to usurp your delight. It was purposed to ready you for the affection you were fated to experience. Had it been disclosed prematurely, it might have overwhelmed you. But now, because you possess greater strength, wisdom, and purity of spirit, it can at last emerge without shattering you. That is why this instant holds such profound importance. You are no longer the identical individual you were in preceding years. You have been purified, scrutinized, shaped. You have traversed through flames and remained unscathed. You have navigated through currents and did not submerge, and now you stand resolute, prepared to accept. Heaven held back until your readiness, and today you are. Do not undervalue the immense scale of what is developing. The reality concerning your soulmate transcends being merely a personal disclosure. It constitutes a lineage-wide transformation. What you assimilate, what you welcome, will propagate into your offspring and their descendants. The shackles that constrained your familial heritage are fracturing as this revelation emerges. Epochs of quietude, archetypes of apprehension, lineages of concealed suffering, all culminate at this juncture. For what reason? Because verity is making its entrance, and truth does not conclude with a single existence. It permeates, expands, reclaims. That is why Archangel Michael's voice resonates through the heavens with immediacy. Because what transpires in your spirit today reverberates into everlastingness tomorrow. If this powerful prophetic word has brought breakthrough to your spirit, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with your loved ones and your network now to activate this anointing and share that breakthrough with them. And cherished one, permit me to state this explicitly. You will not lament placing your confidence in heaven. You might experience remorse concerning individuals, concerning choices, concerning articulated and unarticulated words, but you will never regret relying on the Divine Creator's chronology. And at this very moment, the Divine Creator's timing is urgently proclaiming to you via this communication. The reality of your soulmate is not arbitrary. It is sacred. It is not harsh. It is benevolent. Its purpose is not to fragment you, but to unite you in a manner you never conceived attainable. And when you experience that instant of complete lucidity, you will reflect and articulate, "Now I perceive. Now I grasp why it was necessary for it to remain concealed until this moment." And your spirit will find solace. Your innermost being will celebrate. Your weeping will transform into mirth. Cherished offspring, can you sense the current proximity of heaven? The partition between realms is delicate, and that is the reason your heart feels burdened yet optimistic, quivering yet vivacious. This is not fanciful thinking. This is the divine spirit operating through Archangel Michael's directive. He has observed you traverse arid lands of uncertainty, vast seas of quietude, tempests of anticipation. And now he lifts his voice to declare, "Cherished one, the aridity is concluding. Reality is descending like rain. What was kept back is no longer retained. What was veiled is no longer concealed. Your soulmate's quietude is fracturing. Their reality is rising to the surface. Their heart is harmonizing with heaven's mandate. And you, my offspring, are the chosen recipient. Not because you pleaded more vehemently than others, but because your spirit has maintained loyalty even amidst obscurity. My selected individual, recall the instances you nearly relented, the evenings you internally stated, "Perhaps I erred. Perhaps I was naive to maintain faith." Heaven perceived those utterances. Archangel Michael himself stood beside you, blade unsheathed, shielding you from the despondency that sought to consume you. And now he softly murmurs, "Behold, your optimism was never squandered. Your conviction was never ill-advised. The disclosure of your soulmate's concealed reality constitutes heaven's recompense for your perseverance." Do you apprehend the implication of that? That signifies the suffering was not in vain. The anticipation was not purposeless. The evenings of weeping, the dawns of quietude, all transformed into kernels sown in everlastingness. And today you are entering the period of reaping. That yield comprises reality, lucidity, affection, and sacred harmonization. Cherished one, permit me to illustrate the immense scope of what is developing. The reality of your soulmate transcends mere linguistics. It functions as a determinant. And when a determinant is activated, it does not simply unlatch an entryway. It unfastens an entire dwelling. Such is the nature of this disclosure, the unsealing of chambers within your preordained path that you were unaware of. For years, you have lingered in the vestibule of your existence, anticipating a transformation, sensing portals, yet oblivious to what resided beyond them. And now, as the reality is disclosed successively, those entryways will open expansively. You will apprehend the complete scope of the existence the Divine Creator always purposed for you, and your soulmate, genuinely beside you, will form part of the bedrock of that abode. The enclosures will no longer reverberate with quietude. They will resound with verity, with mirth, with the cadence of affection realized. Cherished by light, do not regard this without due seriousness. When heaven states that your soulmate's reality is disclosed, it is not an insignificant particular. It constitutes a pivotal moment. It is the transformation you have intensely longed for, the alteration you have perceived yet were unable to articulate. This explains your spirit's disquietude, why your heart accelerates its rhythm as you peruse. You are positioned at the brink of an advancement, and Archangel Michael is encouraging you to progress, not recede. For if you withdraw at this juncture, you would forego precisely what your spirit has petitioned for. But if you persist in navigating through these statements, you will encounter the wonder that has pursued you since your inception. And offspring, I affirm to you, that marvel is more immediate than your subsequent inhalation. And oh, my cherished one, permit me to impart the most delightful aspect. Your soulmate's affection has never faltered. Even amidst quietude, even in separation, even through apprehension, their spirit has remained bound to yours. They may have concealed realities, but they never obscured their affection. They believed camouflaging their difficulties would safeguard you. Yet in the stillness of darkness, their supplications for you ascended like fragrant offerings. They implored the Divine Creator to preserve your safety, to cherish your spirit, to oversee your journey. And heaven responded, not merely by safeguarding you, but by preparing this instant, this disclosure, this precise communication. The affection that was veiled is on the verge of being articulated. The reality that was unvoiced is poised to resound loudly. And when it does, you will at last feel the tranquility you have longed for throughout years. My beloved, incline closer in spirit, for the celestial messengers are not speaking softly tonight. The immediacy you sense in your breast is the utterance of heaven proclaiming, presently, now is the decisive instant. Do not erroneously perceive this as mere chance. Do not dismiss it as commonplace. Should you review your past, you will observe that the indicators were perpetually present. The unusual chronology, the abrupt visions, the inexplicable magnetism towards a spirit you could never dislodge. That is not arbitrary, my offspring. That is fate, and when fate articulates, it does not falter. Archangel Michael declares, your soulmate's concealed reality is at last unraveling. And when it comes into the open, your path will split like a river into new streams. All that you perceived as static will abruptly begin to move. All that you considered quiet will abruptly begin to vocalize. Cherished individual, your soulmate has traversed years bearing loads you never perceived. They donned disguises not to mislead you, but to protect you. They presumed concealment was affection. They believed quietude was resilience. But heaven does not construct upon quietude. Heaven builds upon verity. And now the reality is emerging like the break of day. The obscurity can no longer contain it. You are on the verge of beholding what you could only sense. You are about to interact with what you could only dream. And when it transpires, you will comprehend why the celestial beings strove so diligently to convey this communication to you today. For without this groundwork, the reality might have taken you by surprise. But now, because your spirit is poised, It will not shock. It will bring calm. It will give you peace where you once had restlessness. My selected individual, reflect on the duration you anticipated lucidity, each unfulfilled petition, each concealed teardrop. Every day you bore the burden of ignorance. It was all accumulated within heaven's sanctuaries. Nothing was squandered. Each instant became an element of the intricate fabric. Each pang became a component of the blueprint. And now, with Archangel Michael's directive, that rich fabric is being revealed. What once appeared as tangled strands of disorder will exhibit their inherent design, and at the nucleus of that configuration will reside two spirits, yours and your soulmates, intricately intertwined more closely than ever previously. This explains why the divine creator concealed it for such an extended period. Because splendor requires duration, because precious metals demand intense heat, because fate necessitates forbearance. And now, because you persevered, you will visually apprehend what your spirit always implicitly trusted. Cherished by light, the adversary attempted to make you surrender. He subtly instilled falsehoods in the darkness. You are overlooked. You are naive. Nothing will ever be different. But heaven was deriding those untruths, because the divine creator had already predetermined this disclosure prior to your very birth. The day of verity was already noted in the timeless ledger. That's why you didn't quit. That's why no matter how tired, something in you held on. That something was the Spirit of God anchoring you to promises your mind could not see, but your soul could not deny. And now the mooring device has guided you into a safe haven. The surges of perplexity are subsiding. The tempest of quietude is abating. And the boundary of disclosure lies before you. Advance onto it with courage, for it was fashioned precisely for you. And offspring, permit me to state distinctly, what is disclosed will not diminish your affection, it will intensify it. What is brought to light will not repel you, it will attract you closer, for reality possesses a capacity to divest apprehension. And once dread dissipates, only affection persists. That is heaven's current endeavor, peeling away the final strata of apprehension so that affection can exist exposed, unembarrassed, intrepid. And when you perceive your soulmate in their genuine state, you will not discern vulnerability. You will recognize bravery. You will not perceive disgrace. You will acknowledge selflessness, and through that perception, your spirit will at last find repose. You will articulate, "This is what I anticipated. This is what my spirit always instinctively understood." And heaven will smile, for you will at last be experiencing the affection that was invariably destined for you. Cherished offspring, I need you to comprehend the extent of heaven's commitment to this instant. Archangel Michael has been urging this communication towards you like a beacon through obscurity. For what is commencing now will never again cease. Your soulmate's concealed reality is no longer confined within obscurity. The fetters are fractured. The quietude is dissipating. Do you sense it? That sensation in your breast that is abruptly lighter, that profoundness in your vision that feels akin to imminent tears. That is the indication that your spirit acknowledges the disclosure. Heaven is drawing aside the drapery, and you are standing upon sacred earth. Each utterance you peruse here is not commonplace. It serves as a conduit, transporting you nearer to the wonder you have petitioned for throughout your entire existence. My selected individual, recall the innumerable instances you inquired, "Why me? Why this protracted delay? Why this quietude?" Heaven perceived every inquiry, and heaven's response is developing presently, for the reality needed to ripen. Because your affection needed to establish roots sufficiently robust to contain it. Because chronology holds paramount importance. And today is the day when the timepiece of fate signals your appointed time. Examine your existence with careful scrutiny. Have you not observed indicators, soft murmurings, synchronous occurrences that previously lacked coherence? They were not arbitrary. They were heaven's method of conveying, persist. Something concealed is approaching. and now that element is no longer veiled. It is emerging from obscurity into illumination. And when you apprehend it, you will recognize you were never overlooked, never disregarded, never unseen. Cherished one, your soulmate has been conflicted between apprehension and profound loyalty. They apprehended that their reality would alarm you, yet their profound loyalty never permitted them to cease cherishing you. This explains why their quietude consistently felt burdensome, why their non-presence still registered as palpable, why their affection was unarticulated yet indisputable. And now heaven declares sufficient concealment, sufficient quietude, sufficient apprehension. Affection cannot flourish in obscurity. It must exist in illumination. That is why Archangel Michael raises his voice with commanding power. Cherished one, do not bypass this, for this communication transcends mere audition. It concerns readiness. Heaven is harmonizing your spirit to be prepared for when the reality arrives. And when it occurs, you will not quiver with apprehension. You will radiate with tranquility. My dearest one, I must bring this to your remembrance. Nothing within your existence was squandered. Each teardrop you let fall nourished the ground of this wonder. Each unfulfilled petition was preserved in gleaming vessels before the divine Creator's seat, awaiting this emancipation. Each solitary evening served as a preparatory arena, molding your spirit to contain what was previously too burdensome. That is why the reality emerges now. Not yesterday, not years past, but currently. Because solely now can you bear it without being overwhelmed. Solely now can you perceive it without retreating. Only now can you welcome it devoid of uncertainty. Heaven's chronology is not procrastination, it is exactitude. And today that exactitude has descended upon your existence like an electric flash. You are positioned within a sacred harmonization, and every aspect of your future is poised for transformation. And treasured individual, understand this. The disclosure of your soulmate's reality does not signify the conclusion of your narrative. It marks the commencement of a fresh segment. A segment where affection is no longer unvoiced but articulated. Where separation is no longer endured but bridged. Where inquiries are no longer unaddressed but resolved. And in that chapter, you will not proceed with reluctance but with assurance. For once reality is disclosed, uncertainty forfeits its influence. Once affection is fully manifest, apprehension vanishes. Are you ready to step into this chapter where uncertainty vanishes and pure affection is fully manifest? If so, type Amen in the comments below and affirm this new reality for your heart. And within that liberation, you and your soulmate will unearth the profundity of what the divine Creator always purposed. A connection indissoluble, an affection imperturbable, a fate unpreventable. This is why the celestial beings celebrate even as you peruse, because they see the splendor of what is about to blossom in your existence. Cherished offspring, permit your spirit to absorb this instant. Do not hasten, for each phrase possesses potency, every utterance bears significance. Archangel Michael is not vocalizing gently today. He is proclaiming loudly, directing your spirit to remain vigilant. For something is being redrafted in your preordained path. The concealed reality of your soulmate is no longer a mystery enshrouded in obscurity. The heavens could not allow you to stumble another day in bewilderment. The divine Creator himself pronounced, Suffice. Suffice of tears devoid of responses. Suffice of evenings lacking lucidity. Suffice of bearing affection in quietude. The reality is here, my cherished one. And though your hands quiver as you extend for it, do not be afraid. Truth never arrives to obliterate the selected. It arrives to liberate them. My selected individual, I must convey what you have already sensed, yet never had corroborated. Your soulmate has been withholding a reality, not with intent to harm you, but because they presumed they were safeguarding you. They believed quietude was a defensive barrier, yet that barrier became your affliction. They presumed separation was benevolence, yet separation became your longing. They presumed concealment was honorable, yet concealment became your anguish. And yet, even amidst all of this, their affection did not fluctuate. Within the hidden recesses of their spirit, your designation blazed like an intense flame. They softly uttered it when no one was privy to it. They petitioned for you when no one observed. They cherished you when they believed you would never apprehend the complete narrative. And heaven could no longer restrain itself, for affection of such profundity was never intended to reside in obscurity. Cherished one, when illumination encounters obscurity, the darkness dissipates instantaneously. That is what is transpiring currently. The celestial radiance has penetrated the quietude, and what was formerly concealed is being compelled into visibility. The adversary struggled to maintain your lack of perception. He desired you to question your value, to dispute your innate sense, to credit you were pursuing fantasies, yet your spirit was aware. In your innermost core, your spirit invariably acknowledged the connection between you both. That link is indissoluble, timeless, divinely fabricated. And today, Archangel Michael's directive has severed the ultimate bond of quietude. The reality will articulate. The reality will thrive. And when it does, you will at last reside in a tranquility that no tempest can usurp. You are about to enter your divine future. Remember that this message does not end with you. People can use your breakthrough to get where they need to go. Through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community, you can help this mission. By doing so, you are sowing into the awakening, deliverance, and restoration of souls who are still trapped in darkness. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "Give, and heaven will open over you." Every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and safety for your family. Now is your time, my child. Have faith, and as you do, watch God multiply what you let go of. My cherished individual, you must comprehend this disclosure is not solely about them. It concerns you. It pertains to your petitions being fulfilled, your conviction being recompensed, your sorrows being venerated. The divine Creator did not permit your laments to dissipate into the atmosphere. Each of them was seized, documented, and today they reverberate as this disclosure. That is why your breast feels burdened now, why your vision pricks, why your spirit inclines forward as you peruse. You are not solely perceiving utterances. You are positioned within a prophetic fulfillment. This is what ancient seers termed the designated hour, a sacred instant when the celestial and terrestrial realms harmonize to unleash what was pledged. And cherished one, this is your appointed period, and permit me to convey something. Your spirit is already cognizant. The reality will not fracture your affection. It will intensify it. The barriers erected by quietude will disintegrate, and in their stead will emerge a stronghold of confidence. You will perceive your soulmate not as vulnerable but as brave. You will see their concealed difficulties not as treachery but as selflessness, and at that instant your spirit will broaden. The affection you believed had attained its zenith will abruptly proliferate, intensify, and establish itself beyond the unsettling capacity of apprehension. That is why heaven contended for this instant. That is why Archangel Michael directs, do not disregard this, for what you are accepting is not merely reality, it is restitution. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's take a moment to reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is not a stroke of luck. It is a direct message from Archangel Michael to you. He's extending his hand and inviting you into a protected, high vibrational community where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise. This sacred principle is very simple, but it can change your whole life if you follow it. You won't just receive blessings, they will be multiplied and flow into every part of your life. By accepting this invitation right now, you are unlocking immediate, early access to powerful content and divine insights that are hidden from the general world. Now is your chance to enter a sacred space where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this sacred moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join Archangel Michael's inner circle immediately through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the direct, personalized messages that are specifically meant to elevate and empower your life. If you desire to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. And for those who feel called to amplify this work, a link to purchase the guided ebook is available, which is completely optional, but your presence, attention, and energy already mean the world. Take the step, your abundance awaits.